Evercore ISI Senior Managing Director, Julian Emanuel. I don't know why we don't have your name up, your list up there, but you're at 8,100.
7750, but
did you come down? Weren't you at 8,100?
no. We got the bubble probabilities. 30% chance you get to 9,000 this year.
Let's pull this up. Your note today, I love the title. You always have these provocative titles, right? So we're going to pull it up so the audience can see it at some point. Noise and signal. What exactly does that mean? Because there's always a noise and there's always a signal, and I think a lot of people get confused by the noise.
Right. So look at the first 2 weeks. It's been a very active first 2 weeks in Washington. We've done a lot of things. There's a lot of puts and takes and volatility in and around. But the true signal is coming from earnings season, okay? And it's not just coming from earnings season because when you look at it, the financials this week, you sort of had a mixed bag of stock price reactions. The names that are focused on capital markets, where we think there's lots more upside, have done well. The money center banks, not so well. But the place where the signal is coming from is from the chip makers. We heard the biggest chip maker in Taiwan report. Stock is ripping. That tells us technology's got further
By the way,
go.
I had a chart yesterday. You go back to, I think it was July of 2024. The AI bubble's over. They were looking sloppy. Taiwan Semi comes out with another crazy number, and that's rebooted. That's rebooted the AI trade more than anything else in the last couple of years. But I want to showcase one of your charts here. I don't know how you strategists decide, what area of history to carve out. But we go back to 1998. And then you juxtapose 2025 against that. And if this is the pattern we're following, it suggests a lot more room to the upside.
Yeah, we've got a good year ahead of us. And actually, you think about it, right? The internet revolution, high valuations, lots of dreams, lots of mind share, and it came through. We think the same thing is happening in AI. This is the year when corporate America is going to have to show that it knows how to use AI to drive revenue and cut costs.
So let's talk about that again. Okay, here's interesting. So on this side, last year, South Korea was the #1 stock market in the world because of two stocks, right? Everyone talks about our concentration, but the main point is they have pricing power, right? The pricing power, they got SK Hynix, they have Samsung, we've got Micron. But this is one thing that you're also talking about, looking for companies, AI adoption, that's starting to climb, and that's significant.
Yeah, no, and again, if last year was the inflection year, this year is the acceleration year. You are going to be penalized as a company at a competitive disadvantage if you can't show you're using AI in a productive manner.
Third quarter earnings reports, companies that mentioned AI stocks significantly outperform companies that didn't. You think that's going to be a continuing trend?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No question about it. And the ones that are more upfront about talking about it are going to be rewarded.
You had an interesting comment about the VIX, and you say, okay, so buy options when the VIX is this low. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. So the way the market's positioned right now, in our mind, you're hovering just below 7,000 in the S&P 500. And short term, we don't think earnings is the discrete catalyst, but if the market starts moving through 7,000 straight away, you're going to have a chase, particularly because people have been souring on technology relative to the rest of the market.
Let's talk about your risk. What's the biggest risk in your mind to all of this?
Well, I think it goes back to this whole noise of the last few weeks. There's a lot of geopolitical balls up in the air. If something goes perhaps not as planned, that's where 26 times earnings you have.
Isn't part of the irony, though, like all of this stuff that's happening, certainly with the Trump agenda, driving opportunity as well, though, right? I mean, we wouldn't have the rare earth stocks moving the way they are, the rocket stocks, or maybe oil. I mean, it's also moving the needle for investments, not necessarily in a way. In the past, it was always geopolitics, run for cover. Now it's like geopolitical stuff, maybe look for opportunities.
Look, there's no question about it. Whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, Donald Trump is a pro-business president, and that drives opportunity.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
High Plains Drifter, you were great in that movie. Thank you. Have a great week.